Start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Looks like Jonah's on the line.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
All right. So start off with a public comment. Is there anybody in the room? The camera's not working for me right now, so.
No.
Oh. All right, nobody online, so we'll go ahead and close the public comment. Move on to the agenda approval.
I would like to add a,
Hearing no additions.
yes, I'd like to add something, Jonah.
Okay,
I'd like to add a little brief discussion about the planning and zoning enforcement of the lighting requirements on the south wind farm, the sunflower wind farm. They were here in end of March, and the lights worked for a while and they're off and on, and now for the last 3 weeks they seemed like they've all been on nonstop with no break, and so I'm not sure what's going on with that system, but I think it's time we see
okay. The caller number 1 needs to be muted. All right, yeah, so we'll add the lighting, the discussion for lighting on the towers. Anything else? Hearing none, I'll move forward with the agenda as approved. We'll start off with the administrative business. Ashley.
Okay, we have the minutes of June 16.
Everybody had a chance to review the minutes? Is there any questions, corrections? If not, I'll make a motion to approve.
So move.
Okay, motion
Second.
in a second. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. 3-0.
Okay. Do you just want to sign them next week, or do you want me to use your stamp?
You can use a stamp.
Okay. We have early checks in the amount of $36,842.21.
Anybody got any questions about the warrants?
Just for clarification for the public, Jonah, I think
Yeah.
that $19,900, the 2024 audit, that's an annual audit that the county is required to do. And then the $11,939, I'm assuming that's the mailing of
Yes.
revenue neutral rates.
Yep.
No, just so people understand what those big checks are for.
And we will,
Yep.
the state will be reimbursing the R&R notices.
Okay. Very good. Is there anything else? If not, I'll make a motion to approve the $36,842.21.
Second.
In a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. 3-0. All right. Suppose we're on to,
Okay, yep, that's all I have.
yeah, so Tina.
Okay, so in your packet, you had the quarterly write-offs for the EMS department.
Yeah. Is there any questions with this? If not, is there a motion to approve the write-offs?
I'll I'll make a motion to approve the write-offs.
Motion by Kent,
Second?
second by Clark. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, 3-0.
I should have put that motion, the amount was $10,812.22.
Well, add that to the note.
Yes.
Okay. That was really the only other item of administrative business that I had. We do need to
Okay.
have a discussion in executive session about the EMS director position.
Okay,
I have that on the agenda as a 1:00 discussion but we could do that whenever you're ready.
yeah, I'm good. What about Brad?
Brad
Does he have
is here
anything?
now. Yeah. Do you have anything
there
for
anything we
open
need to-
session? Brad says he doesn't have anything for open session.
Okay, does he have any executives?
He said no.
Okay, so, yeah, I guess we could just do the executive. And
You want to go ahead and do board reports, do the executive?
yeah, that's fine, we can do that.
Last week had the Harvey Marion County CDDO board meeting. Had two members that retired from that board. Apparently they had timed out. They can only serve so many years. We approved the budget for the CDDO this year. Their total case management program that they're implementing to alleviate conflict of interest is up and running. They're still waiting on their Medicaid licensure, so they can't do any Medicaid patients, but they can take on clients that are self-funded or private insurance funded.
Yes.
And then last week, met with the Highway 56 planning team that's looking at safety enhancements on Highway 56 from the east side of McPherson to the roundabout in east of Marion. They had about 18 people there. Went through we broke out into 4 different work groups to kind of look at what everybody thought was important. Ironically, everybody came up with pretty much the same thing. They will be having a public meeting on July 23rd from 4:30 to 6:30, somewhere here in Marion. I haven't got the specifics on it yet, but I'll let you know when I get that. But it'll be a public meeting so folks can come in and voice their thoughts, and then we'll go back with another once that's done. They're having one in McPherson County and one in Marion County. Once that's done, we'll come back to the table and go through the process again and kind of fine tune some stuff. But this is a long-term process. They're not looking at any enhancement projects actually occurring for probably 5 to 8 years. So this is it's a long-term planning process, but we gotta start somewhere, so. That's all I've got.
All right, anybody else? All right. Dave, would you make a motion for an executive session?
Oh,
Or,
yeah, it's
Or
all
Ken.
good. We got it.
okay,
I move that we recess to executive session to discuss hiring pursuant to KSA's 75-4319B for personal matters of non-elected personnel with the board, Tina, Brad, and Kent.
second.
15 minutes or 10,
Yeah, 10 minutes should be fine.
for 10 minutes.
for session to resume.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 $12.50.
Yeah.
Back to order. No, wait a few
Okay,
minutes. I'm sorry.
ready.
Sorry. I'm watching the clock. Call the meeting back to order. No action was taken.
So nothing else on the agenda?
We have the county councilor and then the topic raised by Clark earlier.
Nothing.
So nothing for county councilor, and we'll move on to Clark.
If you remember back in first part of March, we called the Sunflower Wind project developers in to explain why the lights were still blinking after a year and a half. They came in and ironically after end of March, the lights went off for a bit. They still had, at the time they came in, they said they still had 7 or 8 that they were working on. Now all of a sudden they were intermittent for the last couple months. Now in the last 2-3 weeks, they're all back on again. I know I've watched them for the last 5 nights and they're on all night, every night. And I just think that it's time that we as a county actually enforce the terms of the CUP and look at taking some action against the wind company to resolve this issue. I mean, if we don't do something, it's obvious that they don't. I don't think they're that concerned with whether the lights are off or on. But it is part of the CUP that they have an ADLS system. Whether it's got to be working or not is irrelevant. I mean, if they had to have an ADLS system, it should be working. And so I just feel like it's time that we as a county step up and actually enforce the CUP is all I'm asking.
Yeah, Brad, do we have any enforceable actions we can do or any fines or?
I wouldn't call it fines, specific performance. Contractually, the obligation exists. It's a question of whether there is any kind of legitimate, excusable reason for them not doing it. I know when they were here, they were discussing elements of that and why they hadn't done it. But if they've gotten them to work and then they're now back on again, then the question is obviously, well, have you gotten everything you needed? If so, why are they back on again? And then it would be a specific performance kind of an action that would be taken to enforce the underlying contract.
Okay.
And yes, I mean, it's not really fines, but there would be potential for damages if you fail to do what's required under the contract.
Okay. And then can we have any kind of reporting, like when they're having an issue that they could, come to us first before we have upset public?
Yeah.
And
Okay.
we'd asked for that back in March. And they have not said boo to us. In my opinion, they don't care about Marion County. If they're not willing to let us know what's going on and we have to call them every time, I have an issue with that.
I would agree with you, Clark.
So I don't know what action needs to be taken, but I think it's time that the county steps up and does something.
If there's general consensus that we want to investigate that, I'll go ahead and make those phone calls and also talk to Sharon a little bit and see if she's had any communication with them. and then report back next week as to what I find out or what they tell me. Start with.
Please.
Please do that, yes.
All right. Should be all we have for today. So I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 4-0.